Daddy Pig seems to be a great father and husband, always being there whenever Peppa needs him. But what if we told you there's a very good chance he has a second family in secret? Other children. It sounds unbelievable, but there really are little signs scattered throughout the series that Daddy Pig has another family in secret, with another wife, and even other children. And one of those signs appears in the episode where he takes Peppa and George to work. Since the focus of this adventure is on the little pigs getting to know Daddy Pig's workplace, few people notice something very strange. His desk has a photo of two children who look a lot like Peppa and George, but wearing different clothes that we have never seen those two wear. And what if the little pigs in the photo are not George and Peppa, but Daddy Pig's secret children? That would explain the similarities with the children we already know he has, because the two pigs in this photo would be Peppa and George's half-siblings. Chloe Pig, Peppa's cousin, is almost identical to her, and you can only tell them apart because Chloe is older and taller, so that makes sense. We're going to tell you everything we know about Daddy Pig's secret family. You already know, right? Another Cinewave is starting. Wife. If Peppa's father has secret children, then Mummy Pig is in big trouble, because that means Daddy Pig must also have another wife in secret, who would be the mother of his hidden children. And you know the worst part? It's possible that this second wife Daddy Pig has in secret is a character we already know. We're talking about Miss Rabbit. That's right, this could be the biggest secret Daddy Pig has hidden throughout the series. Few people ever imagine they could be a couple, but it would explain a lot of things. As far as we know, Miss Rabbit is single and doesn't seem interested in finding love. But if what we're theorizing is true, then that is just a lie she tells. By the way, Miss Rabbit always seems willing to help the pig family, even though she is so busy with all her many jobs. She even does some pretty nice favors for them, like that time she let the pigs visit the filming set of the Super Potato Show. Maybe she is so friendly with the pig family only because she is Daddy Pig's secret wife. Mummy Pig would certainly be furious if she found this out, because Miss Rabbit is her friend. In fact, if the series confirms that this secret romance is really happening, even we would be disappointed in Daddy Pig for cheating on his wife, and in Miss Rabbit for deceiving her friend. However, many times people are not what they seem to be, so Peppa Pig would earn a point for having the courage to bring in such a realistic plot twist. Secret parents. There are more relatives of Daddy Pig that he hides from everyone, for different reasons. Two of them are Daddy Pig's parents, in other words, Peppa's paternal grandparents. Anyone who pays close attention to the cartoon will notice that the little pig's grandparents on her father's side have never appeared in all these more than 20 years of episodes being released. And it's not like Peppa's grandparents on her mother's side don't show up all the time in several episodes, so it's not a matter of the series not wanting to show other members of the pig family. There is some reason why Daddy Pig's parents never appear. We just need to know what that reason could be. Maybe they know their son has two families in secret and do not approve of it. So to keep the truth from being revealed, Daddy Pig does not allow his parents to visit Peppa, George, Mummy Pig, and Evie. However, keeping this kind of secret for a long time never works out. We believe that sooner or later, Peppa's paternal grandparents will visit her and reveal her father's secret, and when that happens, Peppa Pig will never be the same show as before, but something much more serious and dramatic. If you also want Peppa Pig to reveal the secrets about Daddy Pig's family, comment down below. #family. Secret sister. Can you believe that besides secret children, a secret wife, and secret parents, Daddy Pig might also have a sister? The series has already introduced us to Uncle Pig, his older brother, but some people believe he also has a sister. And just like in the case of the second wife, it is possible that this sister appeared without us knowing she was related to Daddy Pig. What we mean is that his sister might actually be Auntie Dottie. It is natural to find this strange, especially because the Thanksgiving episode revealed that Dottie is Mummy Pig's sister, but that is exactly the point. Maybe that is a lie. Before appearing in this 2024 episode, Dottie was mentioned in a much older episode called Horsey Twinkletoes from 2011, a time gap that lasted more than 10 years. The curious thing is that in this episode, Mummy Pig talked about Dottie in a very direct way, as if the two were only acquaintances instead of sisters. Because of that, most fans who did not forget about Auntie Dottie spent years thinking she was Daddy Pig's sister, because that is what makes the most sense. This makes us think that Auntie Dottie really is Peppa's father's sister, instead of being Mummy Pig's sister, but she had such a terrible fight with Daddy Pig that she prefers to lie about being related to him. It would not be hard to believe that this fight was the reason Dottie left England and started living in another country, spending years without visiting her relatives. Being considered Mummy Pig's sister instead of Daddy Pig's must have been one of her demands in order to make that visit on Thanksgiving. Will the siblings make peace in the future? Criminals. We have already said that if Daddy Pig really does have a different wife and different children in secret, then he is a terrible person, unlike what everyone thought. However, for the hope of his fans, there is another possible explanation for him having a secret family, and that explanation is that a good part of his relatives are criminals. In that case, Peppa's father would not have a second wife or more children. His secret relatives would just be his grandparents, his sister, and maybe a few others that nobody even thinks about, like an aunt, a cousin, etc. The important thing is that the reason they never appear would be that Daddy Pig did not want to become a criminal like that part of his family and decided to cut contact to keep his children away from bad influences. The question is, will that be enough? Or will Daddy Pig's criminal relatives one day appear in the series and demand that he enter the world of crime? Alien. How about we explore a possibility that goes even further and really far beyond, okay? Because we want to ask the following question. Could Daddy Pig and his secret family be aliens? This revelation would take the series to a whole new level never seen before, mainly because even though it is something nobody would expect, it would explain some things about Daddy Pig that have never been explained before. For example, Daddy Pig sometimes shows super strength. The episode where this is most obvious is the one where Peppa's father takes part in a muddy puddle jumping competition, and then jumps so high that he flies up into the sky, almost reaching space. Another time we see this is when Daddy Pig tries to hang a picture on the wall, but fails to control his own strength and ends up making a huge hole in the wall. His strength is much greater than that of the other characters in the cartoon, who seem to have the same strength level as real-life human beings. Even so, it is never explained how he can be so powerful, so the explanation may be that Peppa's father has actually been an alien this whole time. He may look like a normal pig, but he is much more powerful, and that is why his parents and his sister never appear. They live on Daddy Pig's home planet on the other side of the galaxy. Does this mean Peppa, George, and Evie are half alien? If the series wants to go down a science fiction and action path in the future, this would be a great excuse for the little pigs to discover that they have amazing superpowers, but we will only find out if something like this is going to happen when the time comes. So, have you clicked subscribe yet? If not, do it now, and stay tuned with us in every video. Tooth Fairy. If the idea of Daddy Pig being an alien is surreal, then imagine the possibility of one of his secret relatives being none other than the Tooth Fairy herself. And believe it or not, this makes sense when we really stop to think about it. Many people have forgotten this, but she has already appeared in Peppa Pig, during an episode where the little pig loses a tooth and puts it under her pillow to get a coin from the Tooth Fairy. And, to everyone's surprise, the fairy really did show up and leave a coin in exchange for Peppa's tooth. However, something about her appearance stands out. The Tooth Fairy is a little pig who looks identical to Peppa, only smaller and with wings. The reason for this was never explained, but maybe it was right in front of us the whole time. Maybe the Tooth Fairy is a relative Daddy Pig is hiding, and it is exactly because of that family connection that she looks so much like Peppa. Maybe she is one of Daddy Pig's secret daughters, or even a cousin. If we take into account the possibility of Peppa's father being an alien, this starts to make even more sense, because that would mean some people from Daddy Pig's home planet look like fairies. In that case, the Tooth Fairy would also be an alien instead of a magical creature. Chloe Pig. Remember Peppa's cousin Chloe? As far as we know, she is Uncle Pig's daughter. But what would you think if the series revealed that in reality, Chloe had always been Daddy Pig's daughter, but was adopted by his brother when she was still a baby pig? This is the kind of plot twist that would turn everything we know about Peppa Pig upside down. Peppa and Chloe look extremely alike, to the point where they look much more like sisters than cousins. Sure, cousins can look alike too, but their similarities are on another level. Not to mention that Chloe is 10 years old, while Peppa is only 5. The age gap between them is more than enough for both of them to have been born from the same mother. You can imagine that Chloe was born when Mummy and Daddy Pig were not ready to be parents yet, which led them to make a deal with Uncle Pig so he would take care of Chloe. But Uncle Pig, who probably wanted to become a father at the time, must have said he would only accept it if he officially became the girl's father. This was just the beginning, because there are 2 more super fun videos on the screen. Click and keep going with us.